Alpena is known for having tons of outdoorsy activities, and for those of you who own a kayak, there are plenty of places around here to kayak, but for those who don't, there's a great little place at Duck Park where you can rent a kayak.
That's right, that's where we are today, Duck Park. We rented a couple kayaks, and this is such a great opportunity for people in Alpena, and I don't know if they realize it, but right within the city limits, within seconds, you can be out on the water. And sometimes I even come here on my lunch breaks from work.
And what a relaxing lunch break.
Yeah, and kayaking is so easy. If you've never done it, that's okay because it's really simple to learn. And in fact, this is your first time, isn't it?
This is my first time. I have never been kayaking, as we knew because earlier I had my paddle wrong.
Well, all you got to do really is just sit in it. You're not tied in. It's not like the kayaking you see on TV where people are doing all these crazy flips in the water. It's really safe. The kayaks are stable. Just make sure that your paddle is pointed in the right direction to scoop water away to help propel you forward. And that's really all there is to it.
And where are we paddling? You had said that this is a nature preserve.
Yep, today we are on what is referred to as a couple of things, the Besser Reservoir or just the Wildlife Sanctuary. And basically what it is a 500-acre kind of watershed for the Thunder Bay River system. And what you can do when you get in your kayak, there are a lot of water trails. So we often think of trails on land, but there are just as many trails on the water in Alpena because we have so many river systems. But you could go all the way out and around the nature preserve, and it could take you for a nice 2-hour excursion. You could see all kinds of things along the way. We have lots of fish. If you look down and you see a big fish, it's most likely a carp or something like that. Every once in a while you'll see turtles sunning themselves on logs sticking out of the river. Lots of birds flying by, egrets, blue herons, and if you're lucky, you might even see an otter cross the river.
Oh, I actually saw an otter the other day. I didn't even know they were around here.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. You don't see them often, but every once in a while you see one with a little shell or something scurrying along the river. So you could go all around the whole outside and take about 2 hours, or you could go just around the island, take half an hour, or bring friends and family and go weave in and out all over the place.
All right, so should we go for a little paddle?
Yeah, let's go for a paddle.
I need some practice, so this is perfect. This has been so nice because the water out here is very calm. It's not a vigorous workout. It's pretty relaxing.
Yeah, the water out here is always really quite calm because it's part of the watershed. So it's not like out on the big lake where there's lots of big waves to contend with. And that's one of the other benefits of kayaking. It is a workout. You do after a couple of hours, you're going to feel it in your arms and shoulders, but there are also some studies that are showing that the motion of kayaking, one side and then the other, is almost meditative. And there's some interesting studies that are being done, particularly University of Michigan, that are kind of taking a look at the effect of sports like this, relaxing outdoor adventures like kayaking, hiking, canoeing, and how they affect your mental well-being. So we know that outdoor activity is good in the physical sense, but we often don't think of it as being something that is good in the mental well-being arena. So they're finding that it is helping all kinds of things. Obviously it helps reduce stress. Because you're out here, you have just enough activity to keep you occupied, but not so much that it's overwhelming. So you can let your mind wander and sort through the day and dream and think about things yet to come. But they're also finding that it is really helpful to get outside in nature for like children with ADD or ADHD. It gives them just enough to keep them focused on the task at hand, but not so much that they're being distracted, and also not enough that they're getting into trouble. And they're recommending that adolescents that spend a number of hours during the week outside. That's usually the age when you're doing more studying indoors, but they are recommending, get outside, take that textbook outside with you. Now, a couple of other interesting things are happening as we are becoming more familiar with this type of thing, outdoor activity and relaxed adventure. Businesses and companies are recognizing the effect that it can have on productivity in the workplace. So one interesting story in particular is a company called Dropbox, which they're based in California, and Dropbox is an app that you download on your phone. But they have an office because they're a legitimate company. So what they do is something called Hillcore. About once a month and have a staff meeting just outside talking, and they call it Hillcore because they will look for a hill to climb. And they might talk about work, they might talk about kids and family, they might talk about weekend activities, but it gets them out in a space that is not so claustrophobic and stuffy like an office, and they can breathe the fresh air and be inspired by their environment.
That's really awesome. Well, if you would like to take advantage of your lunch break and go kayaking, or maybe spend a Saturday afternoon going kayaking, just hop on over to Duck Park, rent a kayak for $10, you said? $10 for an hour, and you can have a nice, relaxing ride down the water.
We have a few more minutes before we have to go to work. Do you want to paddle more?
For sure.